Hi, everybody. This is Mrs. Martin, and I'm going to take a few minutes today to talk to you about Achieve 3000. For those of you who have already been in the district, or you were with us in Suffern Middle School in 6th grade, you've already used this program and you understand what it's about. For those of you who are new to the program, this presentation will show you what the program does and what it is. But more importantly, I want everyone to understand why we use this program. I want you to know why this was chosen for you as a tool to help you grow. So obviously, your team's teachers want you to become the most powerful reader, writer, and thinker that you can be. In order for this to happen, we need you to read regularly. So you may not be a fan of reading, but in as little as 5 minutes each day, you can really accomplish a lot of reading. We want you to read materials which challenge you. So things that are too easy, it doesn't help your brain to grow. On the other side of things that are too challenging are going to be frustrating. So what's nice about the Achieve program is that it helps you by providing just right articles for you. And then lastly, we want you to think critically about what it is that you have read. And Achieve articles include questions that help you to do just that. So you should want to become the most powerful reader, writer, and thinker that you can be as well. I know that for a lot of you, you've probably given some thought to different jobs, different careers, different things you might be interested in your future. And some of them very obviously involve reading and writing. So things like being a scientist or a teacher, those are very clearly places where you expect to have to read and write. But what's interesting is that Achieve has provided us with Lexile levels for a whole world of different professions. So even if you're somebody who wants to be more hands-on and create things maybe in a wood shop or construct things, these are jobs that require a certain level of reading as well. The truth of the matter is there are very few professions that allow you to make money without using literacy skills. You have to be able to read and you have to be able to write. And so the Achieve program loves to be able to offer you the opportunity to look at the future, to look at different careers and what the reading level is that's tied to those careers. So if you've not taken a look, there is a section of the Achieve program called the Career Center. And in the Career Center, it'll show you your current Lexile level, and it also allows you to look up the reading level of any job. So let's take a look at some more specific ones. I mentioned to you folks that my father is a former police officer. So this caught my eye right away. As being a police officer, you know that it involves a lot of action and a lot of, responding to emergencies and keeping calm under pressure. But it also involves reading and writing. Police officers do an extraordinary amount of writing because they interview witnesses. They write down their observations. When they arrive at the scene of a crime, they bag evidence and explain what the evidence is. So there's a lot of writing involved. But there's also a lot of reading. If we take a look, the document that they're talking about here is the Emergency Response to Terrorism. So obviously you want your police force to know what to do in the event of a terrorist attack. And this document does that. But it is written at a 1260 Lexile level. And that means that you have to be able to understand at a certain level what it is that's being presented to you. And so being a police officer requires literacy. If you take a moment to take a look, you'll see there's a whole world of other options here. But again, go to the Career Center. Everything from actor to zoologist is listed there and all that's in between. And it will show you specifically the reading level of jobs and professions that may interest you or tap into your talents. Ultimately, this shows us that the Achieve program isn't about making you successful in school. It's not about your grades in 7th grade. It's about making you successful in life. I want you to have as many choices as you can possibly have in life. And being a skilled reader and writer helps you to get those opportunities. So, what is Achieve? Most of you already know it is a computer-based program that is tailored to fit you as the reader. Everyone in the class reads the same nonfiction article, but it's at different levels. And of course, questions accompany each article. You don't get the same questions as your friend because you have different skills that you're working on through the program. Now, how does it determine where you are in terms of your reading level? That is done with what we call the level set test. The level set test is so important. It is short. It is between 25 and 35 questions. They are short passages. It's not long like the NWEA MAP exam. The level set test is multiple choice, and it just asks you to read and understand what's being said so that you can answer questions accurately. You are going to take the level set test in class tomorrow. And when you do, I strongly urge you to not stress out or panic, because this does not count towards your grade, but it helps us to see where you are skill-wise as a reader and writer. It helps the program to learn which articles are going to help you to learn and grow. So with that in mind, please do not Google answers. Please do not look at other people's screens. This is about being honest. And if you see questions you cannot answer, don't panic. The program is trying to stretch you to see what you can figure out when things get challenging. So if you read something that doesn't seem to make sense, take a deep breath, read it again, try your best. That's all anybody can ask of you. So level set test, important because it gives us a starting point. Many of you know that there are other features to Achieve in terms of kind of a gaming aspect. You can create an avatar, win badges, and you can actually earn real life prizes. Last year on Team Cheetah, we had many people win actual real life prizes sent to them by Achieve 3000 for their hard work and dedication to the program. So while yes, you should want to read and grow, maybe it helps a little bit that there are potentially prizes on the line. If you've got that competitive spirit, I think it's a great thing to embrace when it comes to this program. There is an iPad app for Achieve. You do not need to download it if you have an iPad at home. I actually think the app's not very good. So please use the Achieve login through ClassLink instead. For your articles this year, we're going to be completing about 2 a week. Achieve does send articles directly to your mailbox, and that's what this screen shows us. But these are not the articles that we have chosen for you. Instead, these are just the articles that Achieve sends out to all of its users. So if you're ever given an Achieve of choice to use, you absolutely can jump into your mailbox and see if there's anything interesting to you there. However, please know that your teachers on Team Cheetah have already chosen articles for you to read each week. So these articles were selected because they go with the topics that we're teaching in class. So when you read about the American Revolution, Ms. Falaska has selected Achieve 3000 articles that are on that topic so that when you complete that week's reading, it can help you to have a really productive conversation in class. Similarly, Ms. Mena has selected math articles for you and technology articles that are kind of amazing. And of course, I've selected articles for you that work with our reading curriculum. So that being said, you will be given an Achieve sheet next week, and I will walk you through the process of finding those articles on your own. So what do you have to do for each article? There's a 5-step process that Achieve recommends. For most of our articles, we're only going to do 4 of the steps, okay? So let's talk about them. The ready section is the before reading poll. So they'll ask you a question, kind of a survey question. The read part. Yes, you have to read the article. That is critical. You cannot successfully answer questions based on something that you skimmed quickly, nor should you be randomly guessing at answers for an article you have not read. Okay, so please make sure you actually read the article. For the respond section, that is your multiple choice section. The Achieve program gives you a first try score and a second try score, but please know that only the first try score will count in the teacher's grade book and in the Achieve program. So based on your first try score, Achieve will either raise you to a higher level the next month or lower you down to a lower level. There will be times when I ask you to complete the right section. It's about once a quarter. So I don't want you to stress out or panic about that. It's not something you have to worry about today, but I just want to put it out there that it's something that's coming. And then, of course, I skipped it. The reflect question is just the after reading poll to see if you've changed your mind based on what had been said in the ready poll. Now, the stretch section is kind of interesting because the stretch section actually allows you to sneak preview the questions that you're going to get in the respond section. So let's say you've been having a tough time passing those Achieve articles. If you go to the stretch section first, part 1 is the article, part 2 are the multiple choice questions. So you can read those questions before you read the article at your own level. And then it will help you to successfully see what your answers should be for when you go to respond. So it's just a helpful hint, a little technique to use that has worked with many of our students in the past. Moving on, does it work? I'm going to tell you honestly, I've been using this program for 10 years now, and I've seen incredible things. I had a student who was determined to be a chef. And the problem was when he came to me, he was reading at a 300 Lexile level. As those of you who are related to restaurateurs and chefs will know, there's a lot of reading involved in culinary science. You have to be able to read recipes. You have to be able to follow complex directions. And so I put him on Achieve and we saw what the reading level was for a chef. And he kind of panicked, but we talked about it. And we talked about the fact that during the course of a school year on Team Cheetah, you're going to be completing somewhere between 40 and 79 articles just with the stuff we assign to you alone. So if you take a look at this graph, it shows you that he could have expected to go up to about a 400, 450 Lexile level that year. What was interesting was he really took to this program and he really pushed himself. Instead of doing 2 articles a week, he was doing 3, sometimes 4 articles a week. He was doing it on his free time. And by the end of the school year, he was reading at 1,000 points Lexile. He had a growth of 700 points. So does this program work? Yes. But it does not work if you go to YouTube to look up answers. It does not work if you give your brother a $5 bill and ask him to do it for you. It does not work if you get your answers from your friends. You have to put in the time and energy. You have to invest in you in order for this program to help you to learn and grow. So, what do you do to get from where you are to where we want you to be, which is more powerful? You have to know your goal. 7th grade students in New York State, the state recommends that you read between 1,000 and 1,200 points Lexile. Now, I don't care where you are today. What I care about is where you are going by June. So no matter where you fall on the Lexile chart, we can and will help you grow to the best of your ability if you sign on and you are consistent and you give us your best efforts. Knowing where you are allows you to figure out exactly how far you have to go. So if we take a look at number 3, it says if I'm reading 100 points below the recommended range, I'll need to complete about 40 articles this year to catch up. When you complete an article, it's not just click, click, click to get it done. You have to get a passing score of 75% or higher for it to work. But that being said, you are totally capable of doing that. So how do we get from here to there? We're going to do it by slow, steady, consistent work. And it's not always going to be easy, but it's also not always going to be painful. Okay? I just need you to dig in and let's get the job done. You know you can do it. I know you can do it.